The Rostrevor Hotel in Barbados lacks the all-inclusive luxury experience, but as one fellow guest said, it's got everything you need. A spacious bedroom with a comfy bed, working air conditioning, little kitchenette, clean bathroom, and what about that view?
Cheers everyone.
The hotel is set in well-maintained grounds, and I could often hear the distant whir of leaf blowers clearing up fallen vegetation, and everything was kept nice and clean and tidy. There's a pool which is warm to get into, which probably means it's heated, but the sea was warm too. Around the pool there's a good number of lounges, and there were always some free lounges when I was there, but I was there in low season and I wondered if it would be different in peak, around Christmas or something. I just wondered if the maths of lounges versus potential guests didn't leave a deficit. There's a small beach on the property and that has a gentle slope into the sea, and I'd be happy for my grandchildren to play in the roped off area. Although all beaches in Barbados are public beaches, because you can't privately own a beach here, this beach isn't accessible from anywhere but the hotel grounds or the sea. Car parking. I rented a car and there's limited guest car parking. I have read reviews that it can be hard to find a car parking space in peak season, but I was there in the off season and I had no problems.
You're kind of stuffed if you can't get a spot here, but I've had a spot here every time. That's my little Jeep in the corner there. No one really seems to want to park in that spot. So it's kind of been my little personal private parking space for the whole time that I've been here.
The hotel has the Almond Tree Bar and Restaurant, which is mostly to cater for daytime drinks and food by the pool. You've got a large selection of bars and restaurants on your doorstep in the evenings, one of which is the Harlequin, which is the restaurant owned by the hotel. The hotel has a limited gym with a couple of treadmills and a stationary bike, a weight machine and some dumbbells. There's also an air-conditioned day room if you've got an evening flight and you need to hang around at the hotel. I booked a superior oceanfront room on a room-only basis, and that is the cheapest option they have available. I made no special requests and I was assigned a ground floor room which had a patio and its own lounger just outside the patio doors. You can see the sea from the terrace and you're just a few short steps away from watching an awesome sunset.
And here we are. Wowzers.
The room's a reasonable size and I think a couple could stay here and not get under each other's feet. There's a dressing table, small dining table, a comfortable lounge chair. It's a hard tiled floor with some generic artwork, and to my untrained eye I'd just call it maybe in a Caribbean style. Two single beds pushed together and then made up as a large double. There's no mattress topper. I'm not sure how this would work for a couple, but I think it would be okay. This is a step up from two singles made up as two singles and then just sort of bunted together. But I do see this kind of thing regularly around the world and I don't really understand the logic, but there we are. The bed was firm and comfortable and it really worked for me. I remember finding at least one pillow I liked and I didn't need to put two thin pillows on top of each other. There's a wardrobe with hanging space and some shelves and an extra blanket if the aircon's sort of working overtime. The use of the safe is chargeable and I'm not sure I would trust this safe with my valuables. I certainly wasn't paying to use it. The aircon worked really well, 5 stars for that, but the Wi-Fi was spotty sometimes, so 3 stars for that. The bathroom was spotlessly clean and it looks a bit like it needs a refresh, and perhaps these tiles weren't installed particularly well. Maybe the grouting needs a scrub, I'm not sure, but I can assure you it was very clean. I was happy to stand in there in bare feet. I'm standing barefoot in here now, and I do that without a moment's hesitation. The housekeeping team have done a really good job of keeping these rooms clean and tidy. There's no shampoo, conditioner or shower gel provided, and I always bring my own anyway, but it is worth knowing that you will need to bring your own with you. There's lots of towels and they're changed daily. There's also pool towels provided. Like I say, everything you need. Into the kitchenette, and the main feature here is the fridge freezer, which kept my beer cold and my soft drinks icy, and it also had a constant supply of ice. I don't know if I'd be happy lifting a bowl of hot soup out of that microwave, but I suppose I could lift the whole unit down and put it on the counter if I did want to use it, same way as I did with the kettle. There's plates, bowls, cutlery, most important thing, corkscrew and bottle opener. Drawer, the essential thing that we really need, we have corkscrew and bottle opener, but of course I always bring a corkscrew and a bottle opener with me. I carry a little waiter's friend in my wash bag. So the room, bathroom and kitchenette are on the basic end of the scale, but it's got everything you need. And let's remember, this cost me a grand total of £1,081 for 11 nights, so less than £100 a night. And incidentally, just to give you a price comparison, if you wanted to stay at the O2 Luxury All-Inclusive Hotel or at the Sandals Resort, both are listed at over £500 a night. But they're actually about 2 minutes down the road from the Rostrevor. And it is just worth taking a minute or two to talk about the location of the hotel, because location does matter on Barbados. The island is split into roughly 2 coasts, and it's an east versus west situation. The east coast of the island is exposed to the Atlantic Ocean and is rugged and natural. The wind generally blows onto the island from the east, and this causes waves to crash onto the rocky coast. It's popular with surfers, but it can be unsafe for swimmers and bathers. Because of this, the tourist infrastructure isn't as well developed on the eastern side, so there's going to be less restaurants, bars, transport options, and you may well need a designated driver each night when you go out for dinner and drinks. Over on the western and southern coast, the seas are much calmer, and the calmest seas are north of Bridgetown. Bars and restaurants seem to be in clusters, so just make sure your hotel's in walking distance. Along this south coast, there's Worthing, Rockley, and also then St Lawrence Gap, which is where the Rostrevor Hotel is. And one of the complaints about the Rostrevor is the amount of noise around the hotel. There are nightclubs, and it is one of the noisiest, busiest areas on the island, so if you're a light sleeper, this isn't the area for you. Just south of Bridgetown is Carlisle Bay with Pebbles Beach, where the racehorses famously get washed down each morning, and then Browns Beach further up. I'd read Carlisle Bay was an amazing area to stay in, but honestly I wasn't impressed, and I was glad I chose not to stay at the Radisson. Once you get north of Bridgetown, there's lots of hotel, bar, restaurant clusters, and one of the best known is Holetown. Now I don't think you could go wrong location wise if you booked a hotel within walking distance of Zacchio's on the beach. This is the sunset I recorded there. Further north is probably my favourite, and that's Speightstown. Now I love the food in Oystons, but for a laid back, unpretentious stay, then it's got to be Speightstown for me. It felt like an authentic locals town.
Well, this is Speightstown, and it's a lovely little town. Some nice shops, fantastic pubs, beachfront bars, nice bit of lunch, and I've really enjoyed it. Apparently it's called Speightstown because it was founded by a guy called Speight, who then called it Speightstown. Ego much? Apparently he was from Bristol or has some connection to Bristol, and the town is supposed to remind you of Bristol. Well, I'm at a disadvantage with that one because I've never been to Bristol, but I would say if Bristol has palm trees, 10 hours of sunshine, 30-degree temperatures and crystal clear waters, then yes, it's exactly like Bristol. So that's my patio, just walked off there, and that's the view. And I've got the cheapest room in the whole hotel.
So all the things that I've said about the hotel make me think this is a 50-50 would I come back again. I don't know if I would get better for the same money somewhere else, so I probably would come back here again. Would I recommend it to you? It depends on the kind of person that you are. If you need a luxury hotel, if you need a Sandals experience, if you need everything to be spot on or it's going to ruin your holiday, do not come here. I can go along to get along, and I can just, I'll happily hit a few bumps in the road to save a big chunk of cash. This was less than £100 a night on the sea in Barbados. Now that is just outstanding value. The Rostrevor Hotel is quite basic but offers excellent value, and it has everything you need. Now whether that fits into your idea of a Caribbean holiday is personal choice, and I flip-flopped on whether I would either recommend this hotel or even stay here again myself if I got the chance. In the end, I decided I would certainly put the Rostrevor Hotel into the mix, but it's not a nailed-on certainty.
I think I would stay here again. Is there anything that you've seen that would make you say it's a hard no for you? Would you need that Sandals style, Hilton Hotel, Marriott Hotel style quality, or would you be happy with what you've seen there for under £100 a night? So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please do remember to give me a like. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't done already, please consider subscribing to the channel. So thank you for watching and joining me on my Grey Gap Year.